Stranger Things, Season 4, Chapter 3, titled The Monster and the Superhero. Before I get too deep into this video, it's going to be full of spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode, go watch it, then come back and watch this. But also keep in mind that I already discussed episodes 1 and 2. They're on this channel. You should check that out. And after I upload this one, I'm going to be talking about episodes 4, 5, 6, and obviously 7, so subscribe to the channel if you're at all interested in watching those. This episode, we see a lot of things start to take place. Two things that have been talked about in production leading up to this episode, in interviews and discussions with the creators and writers and that sort of thing. And one of them is them saying this is going to be their Game of Thrones-esque season. Now, a lot of people took that to mean big epic battles in a fantasy landscape, which I have a feeling could possibly be the case, but what they said in more detail was that it was going to have characters spread out even more with different plots happening, not everybody necessarily in the same town, in the same city, dealing with the exact same thing. And of course that was the case from episode 1, but it's the case even more so now, because we see Eleven taken by Dr. Sam Owens. If you don't remember Sam Owens, he was that relatively nice dude from season 2 who gave Eleven her birth certificate, her legal birth certificate, and he takes Eleven and he talks with her and he tells her that Hawkins is at stake and he believes that he can give Eleven her powers back. Now, I'm not exactly sure how he knows Eleven lost her powers because, again, he wasn't in season 3 and Eleven lost her powers in season 3. However, he did mention briefly that he chose where Joyce and her family relocated, so I'm assuming he's just been in contact with them. We just didn't know that beforehand. And this is really exciting to see, and it was super depressing to see where Elle's story was going, seeing her get bullied so much that she felt the need to attack another person and then get arrested. It was very hard to see, and it was just tragic, but now her story's taking a different turn, something that I like. She's actually going to start working with these officials. It's something we've never really seen too much in depth, and I'm excited to see that. But before she leaves, she sort of has this discussion with Mike, and Mike's sort of questioning her, asking her why she wasn't necessarily honest with him about the bullying, and she mentions that he can't say I love you to Elle. And it's just this plot that I'm not really too interested in seeing. I'm not saying that I'm not invested, because I am. I love these characters for the most part, but there's so much more stuff going on that this isn't really at the top of my mind and things that I like to see, especially since it seems like every single season now Mike and Elle have some sort of conflict. They can never just be happy. However, it was in the scene that I started to like Mike again, because while watching this season, or season 3, when I was rewatching season 3 in prep for this, it came to my mind that I really don't, I'm not saying I dislike Mike, but Mike was one of my favorite characters in season 1 when he had this story of needing to find Will. And then ever since then, he just seems very combative. He's just super argumentative with everyone around him. He's just sort of loud and obnoxious sometimes, and he doesn't really do much to really contribute to the overall stuff that's going on. He just always seems like he's angry. Now, granted, I'm sure this is 100% intentional. One thing that the writers and the actors are doing brilliantly is that they're showing these different characters and the different stages that they go through growing up, dealing with their teenage years. And Mike just so happens to be going through that phase, which is a realistic phase. And it's so, I'm not complaining about the writing. I'm not complaining about the character work. It's realistic. It's just to see, you know what I mean? Just like it would be to see someone like that in real life. But one character that I really don't really care for as much as I used to, and that's Jonathan. I really liked Jonathan in season 1, again for the same reasons as Mike in season 1. Jonathan had such a compelling arc in season 1, looking for Will, going out on his own, hunting Will, thinking his mom was crazy, while trying to find the realistic reasons for his brother's disappearance and teaming up with Nancy, that sort of thing. But ever since season 1, I don't really remember season 2 that much, so I'm not going to say this was the case in season 2. But in season 3, and so far in season 4, Jonathan is just like there. He's just along for the ride. He's not really contributing anything of great worth. Like in season 3, he was just like tagging along with Nancy and doubting her every step of the way. And then when it came to the plot being unraveled and he realized that he was wrong, he didn't really contribute anything. Yeah, he killed one of those like paper press people that were overtaken by the Mind Flayer, and yeah, he was involved with the battle, but like nothing he did really again contributed to what ended up happening in the overall plot. And I hope that's not the case this season, but so far 3 episodes in, he's just there, just doing whatever, whining about Nancy. Same old. But one of my favorite plots going on this season so far is a plot that I wasn't expecting, and it's sort of the main plot going on in Hawkins right now and how it all connects. We further get more details about this Vecna character and how Nancy thinks that it's actually the work of a serial killer from a long time ago. And as she goes into the archives with Robin, And also on a side note, fuck Nancy for being so mean to Robin for absolutely no reason this episode. But as she's going through the archives, she learns that the serial killer actually blames a demon for causing the death of his family and that sort of thing. And Nancy's connecting that to Vecna now and how he killed Fred and Chrissy. And I really like this plot, mixed with like the serial killer aspect of Eddie, or not serial killer, but small town, thinks that this outcast murdered this girl and the jocks are after him, trying to, you know, beat him up, rough him up, and probably are going to end up killing him if they ever get a hold of him. Just how this whole plot is coming forward, I really, really like, with this Freddy Krueger like monster just terrorizing people, mixed with reports of a demon possessing people, and then all wrapped into, like I just said, a small town high school kid being falsely accused of murder. Also in this episode, we get more of Hop. Hopper is still in the Russian gulag, and he asks a prisoner to break his shackles, which in turn really, really hurts Hopper's leg. Hopper hasn't really had a lot to do this season. He's just sort of bumbling along, but of course he's planning his escape. And Joyce and Murray simultaneously are on a plane to Alaska to pay for Hopper's transport back to the States. And this episode ends with a really cool cliffhanger. And again, watching this episode, as of recording this video, I have not watched episode 4 yet, so I'm recording this all in real time. I do not know what happens moving forward. Max reads the notes of Fred, reads the notes of Chrissy from the guidance counselor, and realizes that they were having the same problems that Max is having. And just as this happens, she ends up in this blank space, and she sees a grandfather clock, and she hears Vecna's voice, and it's terrifying. And it makes me think, obviously, that Max is going to be the next victim of Vecna. Now, she's a main character, so there could be something that saves her, though I really, really hope this is not the case. I like Max, and I don't want to see her die. But it's come to my attention that no main characters have really died in this show ever. And it would seriously, seriously raise the stakes if Max is just killed in front of her friends. It would be crazy. Anyway, that's my quick thoughts on episode 3 of Stranger Things Season 4. What did you think about the episode? Let me know in the comments, and of course subscribe to this channel if you like this video. Watch my videos on episodes 1 and 2, and subscribe if you want to see my videos for episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. I also do other TV show discussions, movie discussions, trailer reactions, that sort of thing. Hope you subscribe.